Hey friends, welcome back to Failure Retirement. What we're doing today, old Failure got out some of these early rigs. And this is really kind of a Tonka video, but there is this one Structo here right up front. The reason why the Structo is up front is because this is the first vintage toy truck that old Failure ever purchased. He just happened to be at a swap meet one day, and he's kind of getting the idea that these old trucks were cool. Honestly, was never a huge fan of this truck, but you know, it hit his price point, which is typically $5–10, somewhere in there. And it didn't have a bed, obviously, and Failure just being too poor to pay attention at the time, just got a little piece of plyboard and scrapped up a little wood flatbed and made him kind of a little farm bobtail out of the deal. Then slightly later, guy come across a box of parts, and this old hood from something was in there, and kind of thought it looked kind of like a welder sitting up on the shelf, and so just threw that on the back there. Next up, I don't know, not a little while later, after the Structo, was at the swap meet again and come across a pile of Tonkas, about 4 or 5 of them, that had been burned up in a fire. And not like a super bad fire, but bad enough. And they laid around a few years after that happened. I'm guessing, I don't know, somebody raked the leaves onto a pile of Tonka trucks and set it on fire. I don't know. Maybe it was a house fire. I don't know. But here's all these trucks, and they're just burnt. And, you know, again, it hit my price point. I think I give about $5 for these 4 or 5 trucks and a few parts. And so, you know what, like, why not just go ahead and customize those? Guy doesn't really have any money. So shortly after that, he comes across a Structo horse van, I think it was. Junked that out. The sheet metal was really rough. Got the wheels and tires, put them on the Tonka and the trailer. The guy had been working on a Ford flathead V8, had a rattle can with some engine paint. So that became the color choice just because it was. And at the time, the guy didn't mind the color. And it's not horrible today, I don't think. So we ended up, out of the fire burned up pile, ended up with this little pickup truck with the trailer. And guys, don't ever, I shouldn't say never. You find trucks that have been on fire, that's a project. Like, the dents won't all pop out. It's hard to get them back straight. They want an oil can on you. It was not a good idea. So up next, out of that same pile, had this little tractor. Both of these are the generic trucks, I believe, 62, 63, right in there. So this tractor was in the pile. So what's the guy gonna do? It don't come with the trailer. So being a farm kid and liking implement carriers, straddle buggies, depending on what part of the world you come from, I think. Guy just went ahead and created this, just up pretty much out of his head. Decided it'd be cool to drill these little holes. I don't know if you can, I guess you can kind of see them. Drill some little kind of holes in here, give it a little character. And then somewhere I come across this little true scale drag disc in a junk pile that I just immediately fell in love with, because it's pretty much what old Failure grew up using in real life. So interesting story on this implement carrier. About 4 or 5 years back, a guy's kind of a little out of his normal neighborhood, stacking some hay for somebody, and catches something out of the corner of his eye, and an implement carrier exactly like this, built the same way, with the 5 holes in the side, goes down the road right past the field. And the guy he was pulling it with I think it was a C-Series Ford tractor, but the exact same. Like, I never saw that before. And here it is in real life, exact same thing. And then a year or so ago, I actually met the guy and showed him this, and he couldn't believe it. Anyway, I still can't believe it myself. So next up here out of the leaf pile is the water truck. So now guys kind of getting really creative, right? So this truck was in the burned up trucks, and I didn't have a way to sandblast them or anything, and they were complete rust. So I gave them to a guy I met to sandblast them, bead blast them for me. And he had them for a month or more, and I kept asking about them, and he didn't seem happy about me asking. And well, when I got them back, these green ones were kind of acceptable. This one, like, I don't know what happened to the fender. Like, the steel didn't seem thin. Anyway, that one came back like that and had there's some more issues here, and I don't know, over here too, same thing. And the other cab or two were just completely just Swiss cheese like that, the whole thing. Like, I don't know what the guy did, but that's how they come back. And so I scratched my head for quite a while. Like to use these and do something with them. And this was the best. So I decided the water truck was normally about the roughest truck in the fleet. And it was the most likely to have a rusted out fender or something along those lines. So I let her rust back in peace, and I went ahead and fabbed out this little tank for it, water system. Just hand fabbed all that out and just let her rust in peace. And it actually works. There's a little needle valve down under here. Took the cap off of my shoe oil can, soldered him on there. Like, she's a working rig, guys. And fender is a little crooked even. I think it got bumped when I moved a couple years ago. Anyway, I kind of always liked this truck just because it's something you're just not gonna see. You're just not gonna see anything like that, really. I mean, sure, maybe somebody else built one, maybe. Anyway, next up here is a car carrier. You've probably seen this in some of my other videos lately. I picked this up about a month ago at the antique fair. So it is a 6061 by the features, hood, hubcaps, whatnot, grill. Pretty clean truck, pretty kind of cool patina actually. And you've seen these hot rods before. Guy just couldn't resist throwing them up there just cause. So pretty clean truck. And then last up here for today, we've got the Tonka 56 livestock truck. And this is just something that I just kind of pieced together. I think I totally bought it separate, like the chassis, the cab, the roof, the trailer. I don't think I bought any of it together. Anyway, I've had this quite a number of years, and really all this stuff today, it just lives in my shop. The nicer stuff is in a better spot, but this just sits up in the shop where I can enjoy it while I'm working. So if you guys have any questions, be sure and drop a comment. Happy to answer them, get to as many as I can. Apologize if I miss you. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button. That'll kind of helps a guy out apparently somehow, I don't know. So appreciate you watching. Y'all have a good day.